welcome to LOA Today. I'm Walt here with Alex King. Today is Tuesday, April the 21st, 2020, 4 p.m. New York time. And wherever you are in the world, thanks for joining us for another episode of LOA Today, your daily dose of happy. And only unhappy thing today is our friend Daniel is not with us today. He's off, not feeling 100%, taking a little time off, a little personal me time for Daniel today. So
self-care is the best care.
It is the best care. And so today's tangent is like ongoing, you know. And it's ongoing in another place, but that's okay. He'll be back on Thursday.
He's on another timeline right now.
Yeah, that's right. That's it. we both know he's very much into the idea of the multiverse, right? You know, so, you know, he's on another multiverse path right now. That's what it is. Yeah. Yeah, this is kind of like a throwback. We haven't done a show just you and me in quite some time, so
not a while.
I think we need to get that. I got to tell you too. I have news that you'll be interested in, and that our listeners are going to be interested in. Tomorrow, Cindy Chavez is taking the day off because it's her birthday. Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
And so I needed somebody to fill in, and so I got an old friend to come back to do one show with us. Joel Elston is going to join me to do.
Get out of town!
I'm not kidding. Yeah,
get out of town.
Joel's coming back. This is one day only, as they say, you know. So it's going to be good. It's going to.
Well, tell him I said hello.
I will do that. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I really miss Joel. I miss all the conversations I had with him. I miss, you know, just his sense of humor and his ability to get right down to the core of an issue and so forth. I mean, yeah, his insights, his stories. He has great stories. You know?
He does have great stories. Yes.
Yeah. So looking forward to it.
Good.
Hopefully our listeners are going to look forward to it also. Also, I've been doing some outreach. I've been reaching out to potential interview subjects because we've been bringing in people for, you know, guests to be interviewed on various topics. And it occurred to me that this is probably a good time to do it because, well, first of all, people are at home. I mean,
true.
You know,
You're right.
This is a good time. You want to try to get a guest? This is a good time to try to get a guest, you know?
Exactly.
And, you know, see if we can kind of, it's easy to get into a little bit of a rut sometimes.
Yeah.
You know? So see if we can do something about the rut phenomenon. Not that we have too many ruts. Most of our shows are pretty upbeat, so it's kind of hard to be I mean, is it possible to be in an upbeat rut?
An upbeat rut. I feel like they contradict each other.
They really do, don't they?
Feel like almost an oxymoron, if you will.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't think it's possible. I think that if you're upbeat, you're upbeat, and that's always a good place to be.
I mean, I guess you can be in an upbeat rut, but if you take out the negative connotation of the word rut.
Well, I guess a rut would be something where it's starting to get stale.
I feel like it's more stuck, but if you're stuck in a good place, that's a good thing.
Yeah. Because I don't know, maybe it's just me. No, I know it's not just me. I think that every time that you're feeling good, it's not stale.
Yeah.
Every time you feel good, it's fresh.
True.
It always feels good to feel good. I can't ever think of a time when feeling good didn't feel good.
Nope, me neither. Nope.
I mean, it's possible. You can kind of like play like political correct with yourself, right? You can say, okay, I feel good, and you really feel rotten. You know, you can do that kind of thing.
Or people who do drugs, they feel good, but it's not so good.
There's not a whole lot of feel good there.
Yeah.
But
you can feel good when it's not good for you.
Well, here's the interesting question. Is it really feeling good?
In that moment, yeah.
Is it?
According to yourself, yeah.
I mean, back in the day when I was in college, I was in that drug culture. And I can tell you, we would say that it felt good. It didn't feel good. What it felt was numbed.
Okay.
You know, whatever stresses or pain or whatever you were dealing with for a brief period of time was gone. And so that we say, well, that feels good. Well, no, it didn't feel good. It felt better. I'll grant you that it feels better.
Okay, I'll give you better.
But does it feel good? That's my question. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it really feels good.
Yeah, but are people doing drugs because it doesn't feel good?
Well, that's my point. I think they do drugs mainly because they're trying to escape some kind of pain, mental pain, physical pain, emotional pain, some kind of pain.
Yeah.
maybe it's just an ongoing chronic pain of dealing with, the stresses and strains of life. Why does somebody take a drink during the martini hour? Well, they aren't doing it because they're so sociable.
I feel like drinking is the one time you're trying to feel numb. But that's the only experience I can speak from, so I don't know. I haven't tried anything else. So I don't know what to tell you. But
I can tell you, I don't recommend any of it.
Good. Okay. All right.
If you haven't missed anything,
I don't feel like I have.
You really haven't.
Like
No.
Yeah.
It's essentially a gigantic waste of time, health, money. Fill in the blank.
Big waste of money, because at the end of it, now you're a broker, and the problems are still there.
The problems don't go away.
They don't go away.
In fact, they increase.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. So, All right. Well, then, with that lovely, warm, heartwarming conversation line out of the way.
We got to do a warm up before we get the party started.
That's right. Yeah.
You can't just jump into exercise. You got to do the warm up, and then the exercise, then the cool down, and the cool down.
Well, I think the exercise is actually going to be better than the warm up, to be honest.
Oh, obviously.
Because the exercise that I'm proposing that we talk about today is appreciation and gratitude. And the reason I'm thinking about this is it actually came up in one of the conversations from last week's shows. Very briefly, I brought it up. It also came up in conversation over the weekend with friends and family. But one of the things that I think is coming out of this whole pandemic is a recognition and an appreciation for all the things we've taken for granted for the longest time. Things that we're so used to that are not available to us at this point. And so we start to realize, geez, those really were the good old days. We were really, we actually had some good stuff that we just kind of dismissed regularly. And if we can recognize what those things are and, basically play up how beneficial they are and how much we appreciate them, well, you and I both know what the value of appreciation is. It's the top level of the feel-good scale, according to Abraham Hicks, So I think it's probably a good time to take stock.
All right. Let's do it up.
And what better way to stay in a high vibration place than just to take stock on what feels good, like, appreciating good stuff.
I agree.
And it's going to be even better when the stuff that we miss comes back.
Yes. Very true.
So let's do what they call a rampage, where we'll just come up with stuff to be appreciative of for a bit and see what we can come up with. Like, for instance, one thing that I really appreciate is when I can get outside and just get away from anything that could even possibly remotely remind me of what's been going on and just enjoy being out in nature.
Yeah.
I just like that.
Yeah. Now, what's the best part about it?
Being out in nature, breathing in clean air.
Ooh, clean air. Yeah, that's a good one.
That's been big. People are noticing the lack of air pollution because there's less car traffic and truck traffic,
true.
All that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Less industry putting out pollutants and so on.
Did you see that a lot of the insurance companies are giving back money because people aren't driving as much?
Not only did I see it, but my insurance company gave me some.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Look at
so
that.
There's something else to appreciate.
There you go.
Yeah, actually, a lot of the insurance companies are doing that, especially with car insurance. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
I like that. So that's something good. Anything else? I mean, let's see if we can go back and forth. You come up with something, and I'll come up with something, and you come up with something.
I'm appreciative of a lot of things, actually. But for today, I'm appreciative of telehealth.
Telehealth. Now, you got to talk about that a little bit. What's telehealth?
Telehealth is the option to have doctor's appointments over the phone or via Zoom.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. So see the doctor without actually being examined, so to speak.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Which works for some doctors, not so much others. Because I had an appointment with my neuro, and he's like, "Okay, look left, look right," and I'm like, "Can you see me looking left and right?" He's like, "Look up, look down." I'm like, "Are you sure?" I don't know. I'm just saying.
This could be a recorded video, right?
I don't feel like this is as thorough, but okay. But for things like psychiatry, that's just sit and talk therapy and let's go over our medication. So that's fine. And, that works for me. And I'm like, they're like, "Oh, we apologize. We have to do it this way." I was like, "What do you mean? I prefer it this way." So I'm appreciative of telehealth.
Okay.
I hope it stays this way forever, and I have the option to telehealth whenever I want.
Now, why do you like it so? I mean, this is not just a little thing that you come up with. This is something that has kind of pushed a button for you. You really, really like this one.
I really, really like this because those were the only reasons I had to leave the house. Now I don't have to leave the house. Doctor's appointments were my only things that were like, okay, you don't want to die, so you have to get it done. So you gotta go. But now they come to me, so it works.
So basically, they're helping enable you to stay in your comfort zone that you like.
They are.
Okay.
But I've recently decided my comfort zone is where I want to be. So that works.
You made that abundantly clear.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm
no longer listening to society. I'm doing me.
Okay, good. I didn't expect that one to be on the list, but okay.
Yeah, I got lots of random ones. What else you got?
I mean, it kind of points to the fact that it can really be an endless list because everybody's going to have different things.
Of course, yeah.
Jeffrey, of course, has to push a button here. Jeffrey says maybe it's time to get out of your comfort zone.
Nah, I'm comfy. I'm good. Thanks, Jeffrey, though. Good looks.
Okay. Well, let's see. What else am I appreciative of? I'm appreciative of my great relationship with my wife, Louise.
That was going to be my next one. Well, not with your wife, Louise, but yeah, my next one. She cool and all.
Wait a minute here. Is there something I should know about?
Yes. I've astral projected as your cat sometimes. That's why I'm always walking on the keyboard and going in and out.
Got it. Okay. So instead of saying it's Joy, I'll say it's Alyx. Okay.
Yep. Anytime I'm being annoying, that's me.
The reason I'm appreciative of Louise is because, more precisely, I'm appreciative of my relationship with her. Mm-hmm. I kind of imagine there are probably a lot of people out there whose relationships are rougher.
Yes.
And mine with Louise is smooth.
Mm-hmm.
So, being, quote, stuck at home, unquote, with her is no trial at all. It's actually pretty fun.
Trial, no tribulation. I am enjoying it.
I really like it a lot.
Yeah.
Probably the biggest challenge is keeping each other, cheered up, but that's the harshest part of it.
Oh no. God forbid.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Kenny and I decided we actually enjoy being bored together. What do you want to do? I don't know. What do you want to do? Nothing. You want to snuggle? Okay.
Well, that's doing something.
Yeah, exactly.
Doing something that feels nice too.
But yeah, my therapist, not my therapist, my psychiatrist and I were talking. He asked me how things with me and Kenny are going, especially during quarantine, because the divorce rate has skyrocketed during these trying times. So
there's actual data showing that?
Actual data. Yeah. I'm going to look it up and get it. But yeah, a lot of breakups, a lot of divorces are happening.
I got to ask a question. Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody's in lockdown. How do you go file the papers?
This is what I want to know. Where are you going to get quarantined to, and what court are you filing these papers at? Because everything is closed.
How do you pull this off?
Yeah.
I mean, is there some judge, sitting doing the televised version of Judge Judy saying, okay.
Actually, there are some courts are still open and doing telework because they actually got in trouble for, I think was it TMZ I was watching? But some lawyers are getting in trouble for not dressing up being on Zoom. But they still have to go to court, but they're in their PJs on Zoom. So judges are in their robes and they're like, I'm going to wear my robe too. But it's not the same thing.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
You gotta have decorum on Zoom. Well, we would be in trouble if we had decorum here on Zoom.
Facts. Yeah. Because it's t-shirt time for me every day.
I mean, putting a picture of a planet behind me, no, that wouldn't work.
Unicorn headphones.
So I'll add that to my list of things I appreciate. I appreciate that we don't have a dress code here on LOA today. We don't require that you dress up in a certain way. We just say,
no, we don't.
That's good stuff. Okay, what else were you appreciating here?
Let's see. Ooh, my creativity.
Ooh.
Because I'm coming up with things to do and places to clean that I never thought of before.
Yeah, that's true. There are a whole lot of houses across the world that are going to be cleaner than they've been in the last 5 to 10 years.
Yeah, spring cleaning takes on a new meaning during the season.
It really does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Now, there are people who are not feeling good about the situation, and so they allow stuff like spring cleaning to go by the wayside, but it's actually a great way to get yourself into a better frame of mind.
It is. Nothing makes me feel better when things are organized.
And it's a way of taking action away from the thing that's depressing you, or the thing that's bringing you down, or the thing that's weighing on you.
Yep, very true.
Just because you shifted something. It's one of the things that life coaches and therapists and so forth like to suggest to their clients. If you're dealing with a depression, or you're dealing with some sort of raw situation that has a lot of negative angst associated with it, or fear or something, rearrange the furniture, redecorate, do something to shift the environment so that you get a different experience living where you live.
That's why feng shui is a whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. A perfect example of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I will also bring up an appreciation that people perhaps haven't thought of, but I think about it a lot. When this whole thing started, one of the first things that kind of brought it home to most of us, probably all of us, was the fact that the supermarket shelves were emptying. Well, they aren't empty.
No,
they're actually restocking as fast as they can, and very often most of the time there's stuff on the shelves.
Yep. Minus the toilet paper.
I appreciate the people who are doing the stocking. I appreciate the people who are driving the stuff there to do the stocking. I appreciate the people who are in the manufacturing plants making the stuff to be shipped by truck to be delivered to the stores for the people to stock. I mean, there's like this long supply train of people who are involved in keeping all that stuff coming to us that we need. And the supply chain, I mean, there were a lot of people, including people I know who are close to me, who are very concerned about whether the supply chain would hold out. Well, guess what, folks? It's held out very nicely.
Yep.
So I really
They're doing all right.
That to me is a high point of gratitude.
Yep. I appreciate all essential workers.
Yes.
Because without you, there are things we still couldn't do. Electricity wouldn't be running. The internet would be dead. Toilet paper would not be stocked. The important things.
Can you imagine what this would be like without the internet?
Oh, no. I mean,
if anyone needs a way to feel appreciation, there's a way to feel it. Just think about what your life would be like without the internet right now.
Yeah. Without our iPads and our phones and our, everything that we use to take a break from the day. Imagine this happening 20 years ago. Yes. With your little Nokias. All you had to do was play Snake. That's all you can do. We've come a long way, and this happened at the right time.
If you go back about 30 years ago when they had video game arcades, you wouldn't be able to go there because of social distancing. I mean, it'd be
exactly. You can't even touch the buttons. What do you mean?
Can't touch, right? Bring out the Lysol, right?
Exactly. Oh, man.
So, yeah, the internet has been huge. It has been absolutely huge.
Oh, my God. I completely forgot to start hashtagging. I was so into this conversation.
Well, that's all right. Never, better late than never. It's not like you don't ever come up with a list, so,
Yeah. I'll always bring it back.
And speaking of which, I'll make that another thing I appreciate. I appreciate the fact that you do our hashtags each time that you and I do a show.
Oh, you're welcome.
I really do.
You want something done right, you do it yourself.
Well, I don't have to. That's the point. I love that. That's great. That's wonderful. So thank you very much for that.
No problem.
I also appreciate, going back to the internet thing, I think we could actually break that down because there's like thousands of ways to appreciate the internet. One of the biggest ones is one that Louise kind of came to a realization about over the weekend. It finally hit her that she wasn't going to be able to visit with friends. She wasn't going to be able to go visit family in Rhode Island. She wasn't going to be able to do the stuff that she normally likes to do until it finally dawned on her, oh, Skype, Zoom, all this stuff. Yeah.
Yes.
So she's been actually kicking it into gear. We did a Skype call, for instance, with my brother-in-law and his wife, my wife's brother. On Sunday, it was on Sunday, and we haven't done that. We last time we did that was for Christmas one year when we couldn't get over there for Christmas. That's how rarely we do it. and it was great. It was a nice way to catch up. I didn't have to drive 2 hours to get there. It was nice. It was really good.
Saves so much on gas.
Oh, no kidding. Yeah. Speaking of which, did you hear about what happened in the oil market?
No.
This is knock your socks off, because this has never, ever happened in the history of the market.
What happened?
The price of oil went negative.
That can happen?
Believe it or not, it can happen.
Is that why gas is so cheap right now?
Well, it's part of the same phenomenon as to why it's cheap right now. And it's going to be cheap for quite some time. Basically, what it comes down to is that overall demand for gas and oil is down 20% or more.
Yeah, true.
I mean, that's
nobody's going anywhere.
That's a big, big drop. Now, the marketplace has been able to absorb some of that decline by the fact that oil gets stored. I mean, There's always oil in storage. The thing is, the storage has run out. They've run out of places to put the stuff economically. So what happened was, the oil market, like many markets like this, has a futures market, meaning people are bidding on buying and selling contracts to take delivery of X number of barrels of oil or X number of, buckets of grain or whatever. I mean, there's various things that they do futures on, and they do it in advance. So the contract is, I will buy a future to buy 100 barrels of oil, taking delivery on April 30th.
Okay.
Kind of well, there are rules, there are laws that they have to follow about when that sale closes and what you have to do and who takes delivery and what how all that whole thing works. And it turned out that today was a deadline for people who are taking delivery to take delivery. Well, the problem is most of the players in the futures market don't actually take delivery. The only people who take delivery are the final buyers who put it into into production or into a storage tank or something like that. And which leads a lot of people to ask, well, what's the purpose of a futures market? It just sounds like a big casino. And it kind of is in a way, but it does actually serve a useful purpose. It actually helps to moderate changes over time in price. So most of the time, it actually serves a very useful purpose. In this particular case, it still is serving a useful purpose, but it's a purpose that harmed those who were holding the buy side of a contract, because most of them didn't want to take the oil, and there was no place to put it.
Right.
So in order to get the final buyers to take it, they had to pay them to take it. Which means you have a minus price.
Right. I get it now.
So I believe it was by end of day yesterday, the price for oil in Western countries, particularly the U.S., was like minus $37 a barrel.
Yikes. Time to buy oil.
Which is a funny story, but it's also a way of pointing to what you mentioned, which is gas prices are low, and they're going to be staying low for quite some time.
Yeah.
It's going to take a while for all this to sort itself out. In fact, I won't predict this, but I will point to it. Don't be surprised. I'm not predicting this, but don't be surprised if at some point during this thing, depending on how long it takes to sort itself out, gas prices could go below $1 a gallon. It's definitely a possibility. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I would say probably the odds are against that, but hey, we're already below 2.
Question. How much was gas when you got your license?
How much was gas when I got my license? I'm going to say it was somewhere around 60, 70 cents a gallon, something like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because I always remember that question, because I remember the day I got my license and I looked and I went to go get gas and I was like, I'm going to remember this number for the rest of my life.
Oh, really? What is it?
Yeah. $1.17.
$1.17. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. It's hard to believe. I mean, during the Great Depression, gasoline was like 20 cents a gallon. And that was inflated.
They had cars in the Great Depression.
They really did. And they got 8 miles a gallon.
Wow. Well, for that price, then yeah, I could see it. 8 miles. Like,
well, yes, no, because
were they all Hummers? What are they?
Well, you also have to remember at that time that purchased a lot more money, a lot more stuff. $1 bought a lot more than it buys today. Today it's if you compare it now to the 1930s, $1 today, or let's say $1 in the 1930s is probably worth about, I don't know, 20, 30 cents today.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a
crazy.
significant drop in purchasing power. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, there are trade-offs there, but yeah, we could actually be seeing some really, really low gas prices for the first time in decades, and possibly the last time.
I know, right? Well, we're not doing this again. We got barrels for days.
I mean, it raises images in my mind of late night television ads. Joe's Discount Oil, come get your oil.
I was just thinking that because I was like, too bad it's not winter when everyone's buying oil for those old school houses. I'm like, I would buy now and stock up. Negative $37. Yep. Get out of here with that.
It was the first time in the history of the oil market that the price had ever gone negative.
So if you buy oil, they owe you money.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. That is hilarious.
Isn't it? It's crazy.
Oh, my God.
So, all right. What else do we appreciate? Because now that we've done the silliness, we got to get back to the appreciation. I appreciate the silliness. Don't get me wrong.
That was the next thing I was actually going to say is I appreciate my humor in this time.
Humor is a great thing to have because it's a depression breaker. It's a fear breaker.
Yep.
It's an anger breaker.
Mm-hmm.
It's a breaker. No, sorry.
No. Oh, no.
We need a dad joke in there somewhere.
Yeah, it's gotta be.
But it is. Humor plays a major role in helping us get from a not so good feeling place to a good feeling place.
Mm-hmm.
So I agree with you. Yeah. Well,
yeah.
How many shows do we do where there's no humor? Like none?
Me and you? Never. Not once.
I can't remember the last time I did any show that had no humor in it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just part of what we do. It's just
right.
It's part of the way we make.
Otherwise, it'd be your daily dose of depression.
No kidding. Yeah. Or even worse, your daily dose of news.
Ugh. Yeah. That's another thing I appreciate. I appreciate the ability to change the channel when the news is on.
Change the channel. Yes. Oh, I like that one.
Yeah.
I like that. Mm-hmm. We got some conversation. I need to share some of these things.
Okay.
Josephine says spring cleaning can also be spiritual, cleaning out old thoughts and beliefs, which is true. Yeah. And Jeffrey says, I appreciate that we are less dependent on fossil fuels. That's another good one.
True.
Josephine has a question. What are your guys' thoughts on puzzles as a metaphor for the mind?
Ooh, good question.
Puzzles as a metaphor for the mind. I'll tell you one thing, Josephine. There is a person I'm connected to through a former co-host. Co-host was Wendy. She was co-host for a couple years ago. She used to be my Monday through Friday afternoon co-host, actually, Wendy Dillard. And through her, I met somebody named Clarissa Braza, who was one of the co-authors of that book that we put out a couple years ago. Mm-hmm. And Clarissa had found one of these mind puzzles. Or actually, it was about 24 of them, all in a grid.
Oh.
So, not mind puzzles, but word puzzles. So basically, they would put up a word and or maybe letters or some combination like that, and they're either spelled in a certain way or they're arranged in a certain way to mean something else. So as an example, one of them was the letters WAD squeezed really, really tight together to mean tightwad.
I like it. Okay. Ooh, I could do those all day.
Well, that's what we did. Actually, there was a small group of us that she was connected to that all kind of dived in on this one. I went through and I got I don't know, most of them, but everybody else jumped in to fill in the gaps. And so we did the entire list on that one. And was that a spiritual experience? Because that's, I think, what Josephine was asking. Or metaphor for the mind.
Metaphor for the mind, yeah.
Well, I'm not sure if it was a metaphor for the mind, but it was certainly a brain teaser.
Mm-hmm.
So it was the mind being activated.
Exactly, yep.
Mm-hmm. So getting to her question, is a puzzle, thought puzzles, are they metaphors for the mind? Well, I mean, the mind actually is a problem solution device.
Yeah. We solve puzzles all day, every day. So in that sense, yes.
Well, that's one of the things that we talk about from a conscious creator perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Are we focusing on problems or are we focusing on solutions?
Right.
You know, when we focus on the problems, we get more problems. When we focus on solutions, we get more solutions. So from that perspective, I guess we could say a puzzle is, well, it is sort of a metaphor for the mind, but more precisely, it's a metaphor for the two sides of solving a problem. Because if you're focused on the puzzle as being a puzzle, you'll never solve it. You get to the point where you just believe you can't solve it.
Yes.
Until you get to the point where you say, well, there's a solution for this. I know I can find a solution. And then you find it. And that's exactly what I did with those word puzzles.
Yeah.
I mean, I got people who are marveling at my ability. I came up with like, I don't know, 4/5 of them, something like that, maybe more than that. And people were just amazed how I came up with them. And I didn't say it because I didn't want to, you know, I didn't want to spoil the mood of the thing or anything like that.
Yeah.
But literally all I did was decide I could find the solutions. Even though my first glance at them, I didn't know what 3/4 of them said.
Right.
You know, but I just decided, well, yeah, I can figure this one out. This was created by another human being. I can get it.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what one of the toughest ones was. See if you can imagine this one in your mind, okay?
Okay.
You've got 2 rows of numbers going down on the left-hand side, and then a row of words going down on the right-hand side. The numbers on the left-hand side are all ones. There are actually a total of 2, 4, 6. So 2 ones, 2 ones, and 2 ones.
Okay.
On the right-hand side, you've got the words the other. And the other is 3 times going down.
One or the other?
It's very close.
One another.
No, it's actually 6 of one and half a dozen of the other.
Oh, come on. Get out of here. Mine were better. I don't care. 6. Get out of here with that.
I have to admit, now that one took me a long time to get.
That would probably take me a long
I had to stare
time.
at that one for a while and say, okay, there's a meaning here. What is the meaning? I know there's a meaning. There is a solution to this, and it's going to be very obvious once you get it. It's going to be very clear this is what it means. But boy, it took a while to get that one.
Yeah. I noticed a lot of people have been posting riddles and puns.
Yeah, sure.
So I'm grateful for that because it's a break from all the Corona this and blah blah blah.
Oh yeah, anything that takes your mind off of the stuff that you want to be on is going to be helpful.
Plus, I take the time to solve the riddle. Well,
there's that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
You actually distracted yourself for a period of time.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true. The ability to treat these. I'm still thinking about what she's saying as a metaphor. That's an interesting concept.
What do you think, Josephine?
Well, she's followed up by saying puzzles have kept me sane during this time. So she's basically echoing what we were saying.
Yeah.
Puzzles as a metaphor. I mean, a puzzle as a metaphor is basically a representation. Okay.
Yeah.
It's an abstract representation of the mind, but the mind itself is an abstraction.
Yeah.
So I mean, you know, what's an abstraction of an abstraction? I guess is what I'm asking myself.
It's a puzzle.
No kidding. So maybe that's the answer to her question.
There it is, right there. Boom, done. Next. Yeah.
Oh, Jeffrey has another good one. He says, I appreciate living a healthy lifestyle.
Well, if you consider it healthy, I consider it healthy too. I was just thinking of my personal self and my macaroni and cheese issues, but that works for me.
Well, I mean, it depends on how you look at macaroni and cheese. If you look at it as a benefit.
Yeah, well, think about so macaroni itself has no nutritional value, but cheese and milk, dairy is necessary in your food pyramid. Therefore, pizza and mac and cheese are healthy.
So this is the chocolate argument.
Yes, and the ice cream argument.
Or the chocolate cake argument, actually, more precisely.
Yep.
Yeah, it has all these ingredients, so therefore it's healthy.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, your body is screaming at you.
But is it? Because if I say it's healthy, then my body agrees.
That's an interesting point. That's a very interesting point.
Because as much mac and cheese I've been eating, I've still been losing weight.
And actually, Abraham Hicks would agree with you.
I know.
They would.
We had this conversation, me and Abraham.
We have had this conversation before. Yeah, that's right. Of course, the trick is you actually have to believe that it's healthy for you.
I sure do.
You can't just say it.
No. You
have to actually believe it deep down.
I'm like, I need a healthy snack. Where's the Cracker Barrel?
Yeah, so I guess what we should probably do then is put in our standard disclaimer that we are not recommending this as a weight loss approach. Or
I am in no way a
maintain...
nutritionist or dietitian.
Yes,
I'm
right.
just Alyx.
That's
just
it.
doing me.
She's Alyx being who Alyx is.
Yep.
In her comfort zone, eating her mac and cheese.
Eating my mac and cheese. Oh, that sounds good.
So I'll tell you what else I appreciate. And
what?
That's just coming.
Is it mac and cheese? Because me too.
Actually, no, I'm not really a mac and cheese fan. I'm sorry. I'm really not.
How are we friends?
I know it's kind of hard to believe, but
I got to rethink some things. Say what you were going to say. I need a moment.
Well, actually, I was going to say that I appreciate having you as my friend and my co-host.
Oh, all right. Well, if you're going to slide that in there, then I'll take my moment back. Okay.
I mean, literally, that's really what I was going to say. It was a perfect setup.
Let's see what you did there.
and I especially appreciate the unicorn headphones. I mean, they give me a smile every single time.
I know, right? They're so awesome.
They do. They really do. So thank you for that.
Well, I appreciate you appreciating me, and I appreciate you too.
Isn't that cool? Appreciation is kind of has like an echo component to it.
Yeah.
You know, you get two people appreciating it, just builds and builds its own momentum.
Yep.
Talk about a vibration build, right?
Yeah.
It just keeps going.
It's a vibration snowball that never melts.
That's right. That never melts. I like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Really good. Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. Hashtag.
Oh, Jeffrey has some more stuff. He says, I appreciate bringing in financial abundance during this time. That's quite an attitude that you don't hear too much. A lot of people are complaining about, their financial situation and are they going to be able to pay the bills? And rightfully so. There are people who are struggling pretty badly. And here he is coming along and saying, I appreciate his financial situation. Well, that's good. That's a great thing to appreciate. I mean, anytime that we can take something that is generally considered to be a challenge or difficult or not happy and turn it into something happy, that's a real coup right there. That's good. So well done, Jeffrey. I like that. Oh, and he also says, I appreciate an abundance of positive energy and maintaining a positive outlook. And I appreciate all the opportunities that are being created. There's an interesting question. We can probably explore that one a little bit. The opportunities that are going to come out of this. What opportunities are going to come out of this? I mean, I think there are going to be quite a few.
I think there's going to be a lot of tech jobs that are going to become
tons
really
of tech
available.
jobs. Yeah.
Like Zoom is blowing up, so they're going to have to hire some more people.
Oh, they already are. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Places like Grubhub and DoorDash and all those other places that they're definitely going to be needing drivers.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of opportunities are going to open up.
Especially as the quarantine comes to an end and society starts reintegrating and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
I think what's going to happen is people are going to feel a renewed sense of optimism, positivity, feel good. Mm-hmm. Like, thank God. It'll almost be like the population as a whole takes a gigantic breath and says, oh,
yeah,
a breath of relief, like everybody all at once. And that's going to lead to the surge of economic activity, I think.
I agree.
I think it's going to happen. It's going to be a year for the ages.
Yeah.
Really well.
Yeah. We weren't expecting this when we were predicting what 2020 is going to be about.
Well, not specifically. I certainly didn't have in mind a pandemic, but I did predict from the beginning that it was going to be the year of clarity. And I think that there's every reason to believe that is continuing to be true. In fact, maybe even more than I had in mind.
Yeah.
Look at the things we're talking about here. We're talking about various stuff that we take for granted that we're now appreciating. That's clarity.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Appreciation and clarity. When you look at the Abraham Hicks emotional guidance scale, they are both at number one.
At the top.
They're tied to number one. Yeah. So it's definitely happening already, even though we don't even know what's going to come out of this pandemic yet.
True. But we're just taking it one day at a time.
And that's something else that I appreciate. There's going to be some great stuff coming out of this, and I don't even know what it is yet.
I don't know. I'm just living my best life right now. I really don't care. I mean, I feel bad for all the people getting sick, and I actually know someone who had it now.
Ah, okay.
And they ended up getting over it.
Good.
But
Good.
I was like, oh, I mean, it hit home or anything, but pretty close.
Yeah, well, you get to the point where the numbers get big enough, you're going to get touched somewhere. You're going to have somebody who has it.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say I know anyone personally, but you've mentioned this. Cindy has mentioned this. Trying to think if anybody else has mentioned that they knew. So Daniel, I think, mentioned last Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Louis, I don't know if Louis mentioned anybody. You want to I can't remember if they mentioned it. So it's not a lot so far.
Yeah, no, it's not a lot.
Yeah. And that's also something to appreciate. People
Yeah.
are healthy.
Yeah.
Even people who are not necessarily following the same kind of regimen we do, we try to focus on positives. A lot of people don't focus on positives. But, I'm appreciative of the fact that even at the worst case scenarios that the number crunchers are putting out there, 98% to 99% of the population is going to come through this just fine.
Yeah. That's another thing people need to remember. Like, I get there's a giant fear around it, but it's not a death sentence to everyone.
No. Not
so,
at all.
Be easy, think positive.
Certainly a lot of people are going to be impacted by this, are being impacted right now. Certainly we've already talked about the essential workers who are dealing with it day to day. So there's all that for sure. But boy, there's a lot of positive to it too. If we just take the time to look at those positives, everything has a brighter tinge to it. Everything feels better. Yeah. It's living in that dark spot that really harmful. It's painful. I appreciate having the show to do that.
Yeah, true.
I appreciate that we get to do this every single day, Monday through Friday, and just feel good from doing it. Yeah, good stuff. Oh, Jeffrey threw another one. Jeffrey's going crazy with the appreciations here. Seriously, he's got like the last 7 comments in a row, all appreciations.
Well, I appreciate Jeffrey's comments.
Yeah, me too. I appreciate them very much. He says, I appreciate antibodies and a strong immune system.
Hello.
We often forget that. We look for vaccines and we look for guidance from medical people and so forth. But we are our own best defense against things like COVID.
Very true. Very true.
And our bodies are really, really good at it. As long as we take care of ourselves and stay on the positive and do things like, keep ourselves nutritionally well. Might even be a good idea to follow the teachings of some of the alternative medicine folks. People who say, well, dose up on vitamin C and vitamin D and all this other stuff. Even though the mainstream medicine people tend to kind of diss it. You know? Unless you're taking extreme dosages, I don't think anybody's really doing that. It's no different from social distancing. I mean, the people who created social distancing said, we don't know if this is going to help, but it couldn't hurt, and it may actually help. Well, the same thing with vitamins. Vitamins, I think.
Yeah.
So take your vitamins.
Yeah.
Wash your hands, all that stuff.
All stuff you should have been doing anyway.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I've been washing my hands for 36 years. I don't know what's different. Exactly.
Well, I have no comment to add on
You got nothing.
Oh, Jeffrey, another good one. I appreciate the world coming together to take care of each other.
Oh, yeah. That's nice. Side story about that. Okay. So my sister is a police officer. So she's on the front lines in Virginia.
Right.
And her best friend, who lives a couple towns away from me, actually sent her $50 and told her to spend it on alcohol. She's like,
that's daring to do to a police officer.
She said, they have them working weeks on, weeks off.
Oh, okay.
So on her week off, she's like, here's $50, put it towards alcohol. And, she's also homeschooling my niece full time at the same time. So she's like, here's all the wine.
Okay.
But yeah, I thought that was very sweet of her to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Very good. Let's see, what else does he have on the list? Oh, yeah. Jeffrey says he appreciates knowing about the law of attraction and how it works.
Hello. Say it again for the people in the back. Yep.
He appreciates knowing about the law of attraction and how it works.
Agreed. Yeah. I'd be a mess if I wasn't at the stage of my life that I'm in right now.
Elaborate on that. What do you mean?
Meaning knowing what the law of attraction is, how it works, how being positive and how avoiding negative things can affect me mentally and physically. So yeah, just like I said, I actively stay away from the news. Kenny will we'll be chilling in the basement, snuggled up and everything. And then all of a sudden he'll turn on the news and I'm like, well, I'll be upstairs. And it was like, wait, just watch it. No. Because then I'll be fear smoking in the basement with you. So no, I'm not going to do it.
It's interesting you should say that. because I mean, Louise is not a news watcher by any stretch, but
Well, I never was. It's boring.
but
I hate
she
it.
tends to like to watch dramas that are a little bit more on the negative side than what I like,
Mm-hmm.
and very much the same thing will happen. She'll put one of those on, and it's not like I'm deliberately doing anything. I just get up because I've lost interest really quickly. And
Right?
say,
Yeah.
well,
I'm not trying to
if
be
I change
rude.
the channel, will you come back? And you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
so I said, well, yeah, sure. What do you have in mind? She's,
Yeah.
well,
So
pick
now the
something.
rule.
Pick a movie out or something. You know?
Exactly. So now the rule is if I'm in the Batcave with him, I get to watch whatever I want. That's the only way to keep me down there.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good.
Yep.
Yeah. That's another thing I'll count as a thing to appreciate. Not that necessarily everyone is doing this, but that it's an opportunity to do this. Because we mentioned earlier people who are in relationships that aren't the greatest relationships in the world and they're kind of stuck together. Well, this is a wonderful opportunity to improve the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
That's something to appreciate.
Or learn a lesson.
Whether or not they decide to do it is another question.
Yeah.
You know, but it's not like they can say, well, you know, I didn't have a chance. I'm too busy. I can't work.
Now you got all the time in the world.
Got all the time. Yeah. The excuses are gone.
Like, talk it out. I'm appreciative of, what was I just going to say? What are they called? Online concerts.
Oh yeah. Those are getting big, aren't they?
Yeah. So like live, like my friend who's a DJ, and he's probably going to end up DJing my wedding. He was doing there was a battle going on between one artist and another artist. So he was like, okay, Saturday at 7 p.m., I'm going to do a live show. We're going to go hit for hit and see who's got the better hits. So we all tuned in for that, and that was awesome. Cool. I was like, and I can stay home and still go clubbing. It's great.
That fits Alex's motif to a T.
Exactly. This is my list of requirements right here.
Yes, right.
And quarantine was like, you know what? Do what Alex does. Like Alex stays home. Be more like Alex.
Yeah, absolutely. I like the fact, too, that there are a number of famous artists who have taken it upon themselves to just do kind of unusual recordings of their work.
Yeah.
To reach their fans. Andrea Bocelli recently did a concert in an empty hall in Turin, Italy, and put it on YouTube, and it just went completely viral. I mean, just absolutely insanely viral. Josh Groban has been doing a series of YouTube videos of him singing in the shower.
I could see that. I mean, if I was a Josh Groban fan, I would tune in.
Absolutely. Yep. And it's working. His fans are flocking to it in droves, you know. Really, anybody who can do any kind of performing art, who is known for that, this is a great opportunity for them to share their stuff and help lighten the load and keep everybody on that better feeling side. It's great.
Did you see the Disney sing-along with all the celebrities?
No, tell me.
Oh, so it basically, they took a bunch of different songs from different Disney movies, and they had celebrities who are singers, sing them. And they had the words at the bottom of the screen, so you can sing along.
So
There's a whole family of it.
Oh my God, an old-fashioned sing-along.
Old-fashioned sing-along. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. That warms my heart for a couple of reasons. One, because it's great that they did something that's so old-fashioned. Two, because that was my dad's claim to fame.
No way.
My dad was a youth group leader when he was in his 20s and 30s with his church and with council churches in upstate New York. And his specialty was going at that point. There wasn't hardly even in television. There was maybe some radio. There was not a whole lot going on in terms of popular entertainment. You could go to the movies on Saturday night. That was about it.
Yeah.
So church social activities were big, and he was involved in going from one church group to another, large gatherings, and leading them in song.
Wow.
And he was really good at it too. He used to tell, well, obviously he doesn't tell it anymore because he's not here anymore, but
he's still telling it. He's just not here.
I tell it for him, But he told a story that my brother and sister and I we heard this story 50 times growing up. This was like the story that he told over and over. But there was a time where there was this massive gathering of young people from churches across the state of New York gathered in a state armory building in Albany, New York.
Mm-hmm.
and he estimated somewhere around 15 to 20,000 people. Now, remember, this is at a time before they had much in the way of PA systems.
Right.
The PAs that they had were very weak.
Mm-hmm.
And you've had 15 to 20,000 people in this massive building, all young people, all excited, all chatty, all talking, all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And the leaders wanted to get the conference going, and they couldn't get everybody's attention because the PA system wasn't loud enough to shout everybody down.
Oh.
So they turned to my dad and said, "Can you do anything about this?" And he said, "I don't know. Let's see." So he goes up to the front. He goes up to the front and he tries to wave for attention, and everybody ignores him. So he calls to the people in the front row. He says, "Hey, hey!" And a couple of them look up. He says, "Can you hear me?" "Yeah, we can hear you." "Do you know the song I've Been Working on the Railroad?"
No way.
They said, "Yeah, we know that." He says, "Sing it with me." And so he got them singing it with him, and then their neighbors started to sing, and the neighbors around them started to sing. And after about 2 minutes of this, the entire place was singing "I've Been Working on the Railroad." And then he turned it over to the leaders of the conference.
Snowball. That is great.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a pre-technology story that will never get repeated. You'll never have that happen again.
No, most people be like, well, anyway.
Now there are a whole bunch of listeners looking up what is "I've Been Working on the Railroad."
Oh, that's sad.
No, I'm kidding on that.
If they are, then that's great because that means we're reaching a younger audience.
That's true. Yeah, that would be great. That would be great. Jeffrey is just going nuts here. I mean, seriously.
He's losing it.
I appreciate my lucrative and prosperous practice. I appreciate that my friends are healthy, happy, and seeing their dreams come true. I appreciate Walt is moving into his dream home soon. Thank you very much, Jeffrey. I like that.
So he's basically saying he appreciates the Pivot Pals.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah. I appreciate creative outlets. I appreciate an extensive library. I appreciate the world coming together. I appreciate that war has been canceled. Hadn't thought about that one.
You know what I appreciate? All the scam calls have stopped. Because they can't go to work either.
Actually, they haven't. I did get one, but
I haven't gotten one in like 30-something days, and I'm loving it.
But yes. Yeah, it's funny too because there's still plenty of activity among the. I don't want to go really deeply negative, but we'll just kind of generalize them the hacker, scammer, spammer group. Okay, particularly with stimulus checks and so forth. There's been a big increase in activity along those lines, and yet, despite that fact, there's, believe it or not, there are a lot fewer cases of them actually winning.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. I would have thought it would have been the other way around, and maybe the data just isn't complete. Maybe that's what's missing. But I'm just not hearing as much. I'm not hearing as much about, successful hacks, people being taken advantage of, all that. There just isn't that as much of it out there.
I think people are more aware now because there was a lot of it going on, especially in the elderly community, of people getting scammed out of their social security checks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they've been putting it on the news everywhere of like different stories and stuff like that and what to look out for. So I think with that happening, people are a lot more weary and are taking precautions. Like even to the point where when they were talking about the stimulus checks, I was like, okay, how am I getting mine now? What are you saying? Because I don't pay taxes because I'm on Social Security. But so that's I was already included. I didn't know that. And with Kenny's situation, he didn't have to pay taxes last year because he was an independent contractor. And so I was like, so how do they know how to get his check to him or whatever? They said there's a separate thing that you have to fill out.
Right.
Like a whole tax ID thing and to put your banking information on it and whatever. And I was like, sounds suspect to me. I'm going to wait a couple days, see what happens. And then I'll put all my business out there and see what happens. But no, it seems legit. Haven't gotten our stimulus checks yet, but we'll see.
We've actually gotten ours.
Nice. Yeah.
We got ours, and that was good. I will also tell you that I did something that I thought I would never, ever do.
What?
I have never filed for unemployment before now. Never, ever in my career. I've never done it. And it was almost a point of pride. Like, I'm going to get to retirement without ever having filed for unemployment. Well,
Mm-hmm.
not so much. We kind of needed it, you know.
It's a pandemic. You're allowed.
Yeah. So I kind of set a record there, but I appreciate that money is available too. So
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
one more thing to appreciate.
It's not available for everyone.
Nope. But
So,
I appreciate that it's there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, more things to appreciate. What else we appreciate? By the way, I like your hair. You've been doing this purple hair for a while, and it's looking really good.
Yes, it's been months since I've changed my hair.
Yeah, it's looking good.
Yes.
It looks like you're growing into it or something. Yeah.
I've invented my own new conditioner. So
you've
again,
invented?
I appreciate my own creativity.
You've invented your own conditioner?
In a way, yes.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Like, is this something that you're going to go to market with or something?
I was thinking of doing a YouTube tutorial, but then I was like, I don't want everybody knowing my business. So, like, Kenny doesn't even get to see how I do my hair. So, like, why would I put it on YouTube? You know what I mean? But it is, for people who wear synthetic hair extensions, it is kind of vital information. So I'm deciding whether I want to do it or not.
So we may actually be seeing a video sometime soon of Alex's secret way.
If I do it, it'll be audio and pictures only. It won't be like a live tutorial.
No, you surprised me there. I mean, you do 2 live shows with me twice a week, and you're
that's enough.
You surprised me. That's enough.
That's enough. I'm good. No, I just want to show, like, okay, this is how you do it. This is how you wash it. This is how you condition it. This is what you use. These are the steps. And then, boom, here's the result. I'm not going to sit there and, curl my hair and then do the little speed thing. I don't have time for all that. I don't know how to edit like that. So it's just going to be pictures and audio.
That makes sense, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Well, first of all, that's the way most YouTube videos that are instructional in nature work anyway. They want to, cut right to the chase and just show it.
Yeah, exactly. Because I'm always fast forwarding through the whole curling process and everything. And I'm like, no, I just want to, what does it look like? Do I want this look? Yes. Okay, let me rewind and watch it. Yeah.
Another thing I'm appreciative of, this is going to sound really strange.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking earlier about the essential workers, right? And wonderful work that they're doing. But there are many of us who fall more in the non-essential category.
Mm-hmm.
We're the ones who are quarantined at home. And so many people out there have been talking about or complaining about how they don't know what to do with themselves, or they've been trying to create things. Some people have been trying to create things very creatively, coming up with some really cool ideas. You've been seeing them on, Facebook and YouTube and Instagram and so forth.
Right.
But a lot of people are like kind of at their wits' end, like, well, what do I do with this time? And for me, it's been exactly the opposite. I have like a stack of things that I'm trying to work through. I can't get it all done. I couldn't get it done before. I still can't get it all done.
You need an assistant.
I appreciate the fact that I am not bored at all.
Yeah. Same. I'm just like, oh, it's bedtime already? Where did the day go?
I know.
Like, my alarm goes off for the podcast, and I'm like, what? I just got up. What do you mean? I haven't even eaten today.
What you mean. Oh. I mean, I got up yesterday to start the week, and I was doing laundry, and I was cleaning stuff, and I was doing work in here, and I was just all over the place. And Louise said, boy, you're busy today. I said, well, I got this stuff. I got to get it done.
Yeah. No one knows when this thing will be over, and people will be out and about. So we got to get it all done now. Otherwise, people are like, oh, I can't. I have to work. Well, damn it.
And I also appreciate that I have been using this as a time. And part of the work I've been doing is learning more about this programming that I've been doing. This project I've been working on and making some progress on it. And
good.
Progress has been agonizingly slow. Partly because I'm learning something brand new that I'd never done before.
Yeah.
But by glacial standards,
you're moving pretty fast.
Let's put it this way. I started in November. I didn't have any kind of a breakthrough at all until February. So 4 months of just agony because you're not making any progress. You keep thinking, oh yeah, I'm going to make progress. I'm going to make progress. And
I'm going to break through today. Yeah.
Oh, so even though it's been slow from February till now, it's been progress.
Nice.
So that feels better.
Yeah.
Making no progress.
It feels good. That's good.
So I guess my point is these things are relative, How are you going to look at them? I've been looking at them like, well, I'm making progress. I'm certainly not progressing at the rate of somebody who's skilled at this programming language. They would have finished this project 3 months ago.
Well, if you think about it, when you go learn something, you usually learn the whole thing over a semester.
That's true. Yeah.
So if you're thinking about it at that pace, you're blazing through this thing.
In some ways I am. And I'm doing it the way that the Elon Musk approach. I'm making as many mistakes as possible up front as I can possibly make. And
fail again.
I'm just failing like crazy.
Nice.
And every once in a while I succeed. And it's like,
there you go.
What happened?
Well, they're only allowed 5 failures. The 6th one is going to be great. So,
I broke that record a few times.
Well, I mean, in a setting like.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Well, no, actually, I had literally that first 3 or 4 month period. It was every single day was a failure. Mm-hmm. If you looked at it that way.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't look at it that way. I treated it the way you were describing. I treated every single day as a learning opportunity. Like
exactly.
I had one more thing to learn. I didn't get anywhere with solving the problem I was trying to solve, but I was learning something new.
But you know how not to do it next time.
Well, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And more importantly, I'm actually understanding how this stuff works.
Yeah.
This is the thing that I noticed about this particular language I'm working with. It's a brand new language. It's only been around for a year or two.
Okay.
Maybe 3. And it has some documentation, but it's sketchy. And it's documentation that's written for people who are skilled programmers who already have a lot of experience in this general field, which I didn't have.
Right.
Well, that's great for them. It's lousy for somebody like me coming in who has never explored most of this stuff before. So not only am I working without the books, which, by the way, is par for the course with me because that's the way most of my career went, but I'm also I'm working from sketchy information and trying to fill in the gaps. And very often not even having anybody I can ask the question of.
Right, right.
In fact, once I found where the right communities were to talk to people, that was a breakthrough all in itself. Just I knew somebody I could ask a question of and get an answer, and it would actually be intelligible. So it's all the way you look at the stuff, and I think that's really what the root of appreciation is. Kind of sum things out. How are you going to look at stuff? Are you going to look at the glass half full? Are you going to look at the glass half empty? Are you going to look at the glass completely empty? Or are you going to decide that the glass is full?
Or are you just going to drink from the jug?
Well, you could do that too. So 5 possibilities. I guess if we're going to really round this out, there's a 6th possibility. That's where you don't pick up the glass.
Yep, true.
Okay.
You just remain thirsty.
Well, I can tell you this. We don't want our listeners to remain thirsty. We want them to continue to be listeners. So I'm going to throw in a little promo message and ask people to subscribe if they're not yet subscribers. Most of our people are subscribers. We love that. Also, something we haven't been pushing a lot lately, I want people to share.
Yeah.
Let other people know about this because
tell
we did a lot of growing that way. That lately, the growth has kind of leveled off. We've had a flattening of the curve. We need to get the curve going again. So subscribe and share. And for those of you who are not yet subscribed, just go to the homepage of the website, loatoday.net, and you'll see instructions at the top there. We're also available on all the major platforms. We're in the Apple Podcast Store. We're in Google Play. We're in Spotify. We're in iHeartRadio. We're almost everyone that you can think of.
We're everywhere.
Yeah, just do a search on LOA Today in any of them. And check us out on YouTube. We can subscribe on YouTube. Tell people how to do that. You're good at that.
I am good at that. So what you want to do is go to YouTube, search LOA Today podcast videos. Once you see our smiling faces, click down below to the red subscribe button. Next to the red subscribe button, there's a silver bell. Make sure you click all so you will always be notified when we are live. And
then did I mention tomorrow's show on the show today? I know I told you before, but I can't remember if I mentioned it during the podcast. I'll mention it again. From our friend and colleague Joel Elston.
Oh, tomorrow's Wednesday.
Is filling in tomorrow, Wednesday, for Cindy Chavez. Cindy's taking the day off for her birthday, and Joel's going to be back one day only. So, first of all, if you have any questions that you want Joel to ask, send it to me. Send me an email, walt@loatoday.net, or a Facebook notice, or something. So give me some sort of text message, and I'll put it in and make sure we ask Joel about it tomorrow. But it's going to be great. It's going to be great catching up with Joel. So check us out
good
tomorrow. And one time only, Joel Elston back. By popular demand, meaning by my demand.
By my demand.
So, good hour of rampaging on appreciation.
Yes.
Appreciate that. Thank you very much for participating in it. Thank you, Jeffrey. Thank you, Josephine. Thank you, all of our live streamers. Thank you especially to our podcast listeners as well. We'll see you all next time here on LOA Today. Goodbye, everybody.